Hello and welcome to beautiful Lumpkin Stadium here in Waxahachie, Texas. I'm Adam Ferguson, joined by my broadcast partner, as always, Tim Roberts. Tim, how you doing today?
Doing great, and ready for one last football game of the year here in Waxahachie.
One last football game in Waxahachie is right. You are watching the SAGU Sports Network, and coming your way here in just a little bit, the Southwestern Assemblies of God University Lions play host to the Oklahoma Panhandle State University Aggies, again, right here, only on the SAGU Sports Network. Now, Tim, both teams, they come in pretty good conference records, 4-1 for OPSU and 4-2 for the Lions. Both teams fighting maybe for a backdoor, if a couple miracles happen here in the Sooner, for maybe a playoff. Who knows?
It would take a miracle for SAGU. OPSU, they have their destiny in their own hands. If they win out, beat SAGU, take care of Texas College, and then go into length in the last week of the year and win, they'll win the conference. SAGU, they're going to need a little more help than that. But more importantly, SAGU's looking for another winning record. Sitting there at 5-3 overall, try to get to 7-3 with 2 wins in the year off.
And you couldn't ask for a more perfect day for football today. It's just about under 80 degrees, a nice little slight breeze, perfect football weather if you're a fan in attendance. And of course, us here, it's not too bad for us up here.
Not too bad. We can wear these jackets. September football, not so much, not so much. And a great day for Senior Day as well. About to have the Senior Day pregame honorings of some of the seniors right here to see them leaving the field at the moment. They'll be right back out here in just a moment. A lot of great seniors to talk about on this SAGU Lions
We're not going to run out of anything to talk about today with all these seniors on the SAGU team. So let's talk about the actual game plan and some of the keys to the game here for both sides of the squad, but both sides of the field, actually. Tim, let's start with OPSU. What do they have to do to walk away with a 5-1 record today in conference?
It's funny. Me and you have been doing this for a couple of years now, and we do our own research for the keys to the game every single year. This game, somehow, we ended up coming back with the exact same keys to the game.
It's never happened before.
It never has happened before. So for me, the first key of the game for OPSU is third down and out. They are one of the best, like top 2. Number 2 in the NAIA in shutting down third down conversions at 22.5%. SAGU used to be higher. They've dropped a little ways. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Obviously, get SAGU to punt, shut down those third down opportunities. Second, run. SAGU's defense is number 82 overall out of 90 NAIA squads in stopping the run, allowing 230 yards a game. Meanwhile, the Aggies, pretty good on the ground. So just, I don't even bother passing today. 50 runs, 60 runs, just run. Last, turn CJ to the dark side. That's this team's nickname, the dark side defense coming out of Oklahoma. And if they can eliminate SAGU's running game with just 3 or 4 guys up front, then it's just so incumbent on getting back there, double-teaming guys, cutting off routes, maybe, just maybe, intercepting C.J. Collins. Talk about that here in a little bit as well.
We will talk about that a little. Let's go to the other side of the ball for the SAGU Lions, your home SAGU Lions. The first one, of course, similar feed here. Convert on third down. They've been good all season long converting on third down, and OPSU does a very, very good job of getting teams off the field, forcing the punt. So SAGU's got to stay on the field on offense and keep converting, moving those chains all game long. Not really much more you can say about that. We covered it.
Exactly. No punts.
The second for the SAGU Lions, air it out. Of course, the run game this year has not been the greatest for the Lions, has not been their strength like we've seen in the past. They've really relied heavily on C.J. Collins, and he has delivered this season. Again, I'm a little excited to talk about that here in a little bit. But C.J. Collins has been so good. Just put the game on his shoulders. It's his last home game. He's a senior. Let him air it out.
Back-to-back games that he has broken the all-time passing record. Can he do it for a third straight week?
We'll see. And then lastly, of course, it being Senior Day, let's keep an eye on these seniors. A lot of them contribute heavily, at least on the offensive side of the ball. SAGU does have a young defense, but offensively, some of the splash players for the Lions are seniors. So expect to see them step up like they have the last couple of years for the Lions and really contribute a lot on offense.
It is almost certainly their last game in this stadium in front of these fans, and obviously these guys own all the records, almost all these guys out there. So, yeah, great chance to leave with an amazing memory with a win here today, putting up some points. So.
Now, we talked about the general scheme of things as far as keys to the game. Let's go a little bit more in depth here with the players. Who are we watching for on the OPSU side?
With the Aggies, like I said, they need to run, but I don't want to – they spread the ball out a lot. They have a lot of guys running. To me, you need to find that hot hand. I love a change of pace back, but find your hot hand today, feed them, and let them run 20 to 25 times. The guy I'm looking at is Carlos Ransberg. He's actually the guy that leads the team in carries and rushing yards. You see that rushing yard total? Not very high for a team that's pretty good at rushing. So if he's the guy today, and I feel like he very well could be, make sure he gets the ball a lot. Second, linebacker Diamante Pounds. He leads the team in tackles for a loss and with sacks. And if you can bring on that linebacker blitz to force CJ to get out of his comfort zone, get out of the pocket, and you're shutting down the passing game in the secondary, look for him to maybe pick up a sack or two today. Last DB DRDL fights, 6 passes broken up, 2 interceptions, and he leads the team with 43 tackles. So this is kind of a do-it-all kind of guy. It's going to be crucial for him to try to break up those passes, but most importantly, bring these speedy Lions receivers down when they catch it, because every single one of them can break a tackle and go to the house.
Let's flip the script over to the SAGU side. First and foremost, the man we've talked about all season long, CJ Collins, senior quarterback, has had the best year of his career. We've talked about it before. You're saying he's playing the best football of his life, and it is very true. First home game against Ottawa, Arizona, came in at 6 touchdowns, 4 interceptions on the season. Not the greatest. We were challenging him to kind of step out and perform like a senior leader. Well, Tim, he's at 26 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, hasn't thrown an interception in 239 attempts, which is just insane.
And the most important thing, and I called on this for preseason, he needs to get that completion percentage up to 60%.
Right.
That's exactly where it is right now. So this is a guy who's not throwing picks, and he's doing it while completing the ball. It's not because he's throwing it away. He's completing passes. He had a game-winning touchdown drive last week. You could not ask for a better swan song from CJ right now, short of 2 more wins, obviously. The story's still being written, but either way, he is almost certain to break last year's marks he set for yards and touchdowns in a season today. So.
And, of course, in addition to 239 straight attempts without an interception, it's 4 straight games without interception. Very important for him to take care of the ball. Staying on the offensive side, 2 more seniors, Sam Northey, Jeremy Carr. I'm kind of cheating here a little bit, going 2 more players to watch, but they're both seniors on this team, and they're both guys that have contributed heavily in this offense. Sam Northey, we knew him as a return specialist, a guy who's going to be back there returning punts, returning kicks. That's pretty much it. But this season, he has shown that he is the clear #1 receiver and a legitimate threat at the receiver position.
He's one of those guys, every time the ball hits his hands, you go, this play could break it. This play could break it.
The long of CJ's season is 84 yards, and you have Sam Northey to thank for that, as well as Jeremy Carr. He's done it in and out for the last 4 years. Has just been probably the most consistent player on this entire team, either side of the ball. Just keep an eye out for #2, Jeremy Carr, again today. And then let's flip it to the other side of the ball. Marco Matthews, again, sticking with the seniors. A linebacker. He was a former safety, moved down to kind of the weak linebacker spot, is second on this team in tackles behind Landon Jones. Has really been one of the leaders that they can rely on, one of the sure tacklers on this team in Marco Matthews.
That's been so crucial because, like you mentioned a moment ago, this is such a young defense. So to have that senior presence, to hold together, like last week, when you have a game where you give up 40 points and it's not looking great, the defense made a stand at the end. They showed some veteran moxie, and I think you can have guys like Marco Matthews to thank for keeping these guys in line when it matters most.
Sometimes all you need is just 1 stop. Whether it's 50 points on the board, you get 1 stop, it could change the tide of the game. So let's transition a little bit here, and of course I talk about it every week. It's my favorite segment. It's Tim by the numbers, Tim's numerology, whatever you want to call it. Tim, fill us in. What do you got this week?
This week we're going broad. We're going to the whole NAIA, and I've got a theme for you, and it's 60 is the new 40. I think we all know scoring is generally up. Here's how much it is up. In 2004, 15 seasons ago essentially, the leading scorer in the NAIA averaged 40.9 points a game. Now you look at that chart, every year just kind of ticking up steadily to 60 points a game this year. The leading scorer is 60 points a game. SAGU's currently averaging 38.9 points a game, almost 40 points a game. That's their all-time high. Not even good enough for top 15 in this current way. They'd have been almost #1 back in 2004 with those marks. What I found interesting about this, though, is the median score hasn't changed all that much. In 2004, the median score was 23.5 points. This year, the median score is 27.5 points, so just a tick of around 4 points. But the rich are getting richer, okay? At the top, the 1%. The 1% are going up right there by 20 points over the last 15 seasons. To me, the real question is this possibly sustainable? Because you put this on a chart, graph it out.
Right.
That is a 45-degree angle straight up to 60 points. Is there any way in 15 seasons from now we're talking about an 80-point average a game? I don't think so. I think we're probably going to reach that barrier. I mean, you're averaging a point a minute. I don't know how much farther you can push this machine before it falls apart, minus rule changes, minus something that somehow allows more scoring. Obviously, you've had rule changes that have led to this rise in scoring. So I think we're probably hitting the peak. But at the moment, yes, 20 points more a game to lead the NAIA.
It can only get so ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm about to say, you can only, I don't think you can get to 80. Maybe 63, 64. You have to tap out at some point, unless you just got a team that's like, let's put up 100 a game. I don't know how much more you can push it, but either way, it's an astounding stat. And yeah, if you want to lead scoring, forget 40 points, you better put up 60.
Put up 60, absolutely. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back here with our final thoughts, and then we're going to kick it down live to the sideline for the Senior Day ceremonies right here on the SAGU Sports Network. Welcome back to the SAGU Sports Network, Tim, as we get ready to go down to the sidelines to honor the seniors that have worked so hard for this football program. Let's talk a little bit about these standings and what needs to happen here towards the end of the season for both of these teams, OPSU and SAGU. Of course, OPSU coming in with only one conference loss. What do they got to do to get themselves to a potential Senior Athletic Conference Championship game?
Yeah, OPSU, the path forward is clear. They're at 4-1, so if they can win today, then go play Texas College next week, take care of business there, it would set up a de facto Senior Athletic Conference Championship game between them and Langston. Winner takes the conference, just like what we had last year between SAGU and Langston. SAGU is going to take a lot more than that. They would need Texas College to stun Langston today.
Stun.
You'd need to beat OPSU, beat Arizona Christian, and then have OPSU beat Langston. And so at that point, you'd have 3 teams tied with 2 losses. You'd have no one would have swept the season series. Then would go to secondary, tertiary tiebreakers then on out. No point in even running that math yet.
Not even Tim's numerology.
I'm not going to dig that. If Texas College wins today, then I'll start doing those numbers and see what it would take for SAGU to pull it out. So for SAGU, the real goal has to be clinching that winning season. And you never want to lose sight of that as we're about to honor the seniors and the legacy they put out there. As of 2012, this program had never had a winning season. Not only that, they'd never had a non-losing season. They'd had nothing but losing seasons. They established something in 2012 that has now become the norm around here, getting to 6 or 7 wins. You can do that today. You can clinch another winning season. Either way, you won't have a losing season no matter what. But you can clinch another winning season, potentially get that 7th win. There's always that option, potentially the Victory Bowl out there. That always gets worked out in the phone calls the week after the season. So still a lot to play for these Lions going out on top, trying to equal last year's mark potentially of 8 wins if you were to get that bonus game at the end of the path. Either way, go get that winning season. I never lose sight of how important that is.
It gives these seniors, and there are a lot of seniors, more on this year's team than in recent memory for the SAGU team, at least on the offensive side of the ball. Of course, young defense, but it gives them something to play for, and it gives them a reason to come out and try to blow out an OPSU team. Not only does it make you guys look good, it gets you to potentially 7-3 season, it spoils OPSU's chance at maybe getting to that Senior Athletic Conference Championship game.
And really, you haven't had a game that you've won this year against a team that you were necessarily equally matched with or not favored to win. You lost those games to Evangel and Langston. Then you lose to Lyon in an upset. All your other wins are games that you know you should have won. This is a big statement game. It's weird to have a statement game this late in the season, but you need to prove we can beat a team that on paper is equal to or maybe even a tad above us.
And they're very equal. Both of these teams losing to Lyon.
Yeah, they couldn't be more equal in the standings. They couldn't be more equal in how they look, except they're mirror image of each other. They're running teams versus passing teams, but they do it both so well. So, let's see how it shakes out here today.
Absolutely. We're excited for this game between OPSU and SAGU. Don't go anywhere. We're going to throw it live down to the sideline for the Senior Day festivities, and then we'll be back for kickoff right here on the SAGU Sports Network.
Welcome to Lupkin Stadium in Waxahachie, Texas for today's contest between your SAGU Lions and the Aggies of Oklahoma Panhandle State University. At this time, we're going to honor our SAGU seniors. This senior class has the most wins in SAGU football history. These seniors before you also include several record holders, and their legacy with SAGU football will inspire many young athletes for years to come. Our first senior is number 2, Jeremy Carr. Jeremy is escorted today by his parents, Anthony and Ramonica Carr. He majored in business communication. When you talk about the best receivers year in and year out, Jeremy has consistently wowed our coaching staff and all opposing coaches. Last week, Carr hauled an impressive 17 catches, which broke the school record for most receptions in a game. He also is a 2-time first-team All-Conference, and following this season, he will be a 3-time All-Conference receiver and has a good change at being an All-American. With just 7 more catches and 60 more yards, Jeremy will become SAGU's all-time leading receiver in receptions and yards. It is safe to say that Jeremy is one of the best receivers in school history. Jeremy, you will be greatly missed, and we look forward to what your future holds. Our next senior is number 4, Samuel Northey. Sam is escorted by his parents, Eric and Anissa Northey. He will graduate with a major in accounting. Sam is the epitome of a football player and the most football-savvy person in the room at all times. Northey has only been in the football program for about 20 total games, but Coach Smith would still label him as one of SAGU's all-time great football players. He dominated the stat sheet against Ottawa, reeling in 12 passes for a total of 256 yards and 3 touchdowns, which currently earned him the spot as conference leader for receiving yards in a game. Sam leads the team in all-purpose yards with 1,366 total yards. He leads the team in receiving yards and catches with 66 catches and 940 total yards. Sam also leads the team in touchdowns scored with 13 for the season. To further show what an amazing player he is, Sam has thrown a 71-yard touchdown, rushed for a touchdown, and he has an 87-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. The guy can do it all. We are grateful for all you brought to SAGU football, Sam. Next, we have quarterback number 10, CJ Collins. CJ is escorted today by his parents, Carl and Erica Collins, his sister Carly, and his brother Addison. CJ will graduate with a degree in interdisciplinary studies. CJ is an incredible athlete who put SAGU football on the map. He holds every passing record in school history and has thrown for over 10,000 yards. He has been the face of SAGU football for 5 years and played at such an intense and high level that it earned him due respect at a national level. More than just an outstanding quarterback, CJ is an exceptional young man that has only begun to make his mark on the world. CJ is a man who fears the Lord and will do great things for the kingdom of God. He will be greatly missed as CJ has impacted SAGU football and the SAGU community, leaving an incredible legacy that will be the standard for all future SAGU football players and is measured by. Thank you, CJ, for all your efforts and dedication to SAGU. Please welcome our next senior, number 11, Taurus Hill. Escorting Taurus today are his parents, Michael and Latasha Hill, his brother Miles, and his grandparents, Renee and Gerald Lucas. Taurus will graduate with a degree in business sports management. Coach Smith states that Taurus is a guy that could play for any team in the conference and make that team better. Following his sophomore year, Taurus was awarded second team all-conference. He works hard every day and accepts his role on the team without complaining, which helped him receive the team's We Is Greater Than Me award for his efforts. Taurus' career best includes an impressive 6 catches, 117 yards, and a touchdown. Not only will we miss his abilities on the field, but his encouraging nature will also be missed next year. Congratulations, Taurus, on the job well done. Number 23, Marco Matthews, is the next senior we will honor today. Marco is here with his mom, Shannon Diaz, and his dad, Mark Matthews. He is a criminal justice major. Marco has been a utility player for the SAGU defense since he arrived on campus 4 years ago. He has been able to play multiple positions and thrive in each. He has played hurt and never used it as an excuse. His unrelenting spirit truly models what SAGU grit is all about. His stats include 97 tackles, 5.5 tackles for loss, 2 interceptions, and a touchdown in his career. We know that great things are ahead for you, Marco, and we are very grateful for all that you have done for SAGU football. Xavier Pittman, number 24, is our next senior today. Zay is supported here today by his parents, Michael and Felicia Pittman, and his wife, Deborah. He will graduate with a degree in interdisciplinary studies. Zay is the true definition of a team player. He does any and everything for the team to be successful. His high energy is contagious and has set a standard for the younger players to follow. During his time at SAGU, he has played both sides of the ball and has 224 receiving yards, 30 tackles, 1 pass breakup, and 1 interception. He endured surgery, got married, and still gave his all to the team and his teammates. Best of luck to you and your future, Zay. We are so proud of you. Next we have senior number 49, Justin Cadell. Justin is escorted today by his mom, Wendy, and his dad, Brett. His major is criminal justice. Justin is another we is greater than me guy who will do anything for SAGU football. He has played multiple roles with the program. That includes being a student assistant and back this year as a player. Justin services the teams on scout, and you have never have a question about his work ethic. We are very grateful for you, all you have done for SAGU football on and off the field. We know your future will be one that impacts many people, and we appreciate that you shared your time with us. Congratulations, Justin. Our next senior we will honor is number 61, Dane Macklin. Dane is escorted by his mom and dad, Wendy and Darren, his brother and sister-in-law, Dylan and Sydney, and his sister, Michaela. He will graduate with a degree in sports management. Dane has been a staple for interior offensive line play since he arrived on campus in 2016. A 4-year starter, he ranks among the top offensive linemen in SAGU history, leading the program in total pancakes. He plays with a tremendous effort and embodies the definition of all you got all the time. Dane leaves a legacy of being a physical offensive line player for SAGU. Many offensive linemen don't receive the recognition they deserve, but Dane, we hope you know how much we value your contribution and efforts for your team. You will be greatly missed. Merman Elliott, number 73, is the next senior for today. Escorting Merman today is his mother, Kimberly James, his grandmother, Diana James, and his 2 brothers, Colin and Kinston. He will graduate with a degree in criminal justice. Merman is a senior offensive lineman at SAGU in all definition of those words. Merman's passion for SAGU football is unprecedented, and his love for his teammates is felt throughout the entire team and even amongst the campus. He is an energy giver and brings the juice to every meeting, practice, and game for his team. He is always willing to help and serve and tells it like it is. We will greatly miss you, Merman, and all that he has brought to SAGU football. Best wishes to you, Merman. Our final senior today is the one and only number 85, Xavier Washington. Xavier is escorted today by his parents, Linda Washington and Cedric Edwards and Hannah Schultz. His major is business communication. Xavier's passion for the football is inspiring. Any coach would love 11 guys with the confidence and desire for the game as he has. We are so thankful for his faithfulness to SAGU football and his teammates on an individual basis. He has been someone we could all count on and did many times. We know that there are great things in your future, so go get all that you deserve. Good luck, X, and all your future endeavors. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2018 SAGU Lion football seniors.
Assemblies of God University welcomes all players, officials, and spectators to today's contest. As a member of the NAIA, we are committed to the true spirit of competition by being a champion of character. Through the 5 core character values the NAIA embraces, which are respect, integrity, responsibility, servant leadership, and sportsmanship. We ask each of you as a participant, official, or spectator to abide by these values by creating a positive environment in which our athletes may participate, our officials may work, and you, the spectator, may enjoy. Please enjoy this contest.
South Green High School, Grand Prairie, Texas, wide receiver. Jeremy Carr, Green Prairie High School, Austin, Texas, wide receiver. Sonny Northey, Green High School, Fort Worth, Texas, wide receiver. CJ Collins, High School, Texas, quarterback. Stephon Free, Midway High School, Waco, Texas, running back. Black Road, Midway High School, Midway, Texas, wide receiver. Dane Madison, Fort High School, Fort Worth, Texas, offensive line. Carter Severson, Claremont High School, Claremont, Texas, offensive line. Bruno, High School, Texas, offensive line. Lucy Drive, High School, Houston, Texas, offensive line. Peyton Evans, High School, Texas, offensive line. Going North, Lucy High School, Houston, Texas, kicker. Matthews, Mayfield High School, Mayfield, Texas, linebacker. Toriarte Williams, Indian High School, East Texas, linebacker. Kobe Brooks, Silent Springs High School, Silent Springs, Arkansas, defensive back. Christian Cross, Tomball Memorial High School, Houston, Texas, defensive back. Derek Shelby, Sanger High School, Sanger, Texas, defensive end. Mark Diaz, China High School, China, Texas, defensive line. Keandre Belcher, Katy High School, Katy, Texas, defensive line.
Test, test. And now at this time, we would ask everyone to please stand, remove your hats, and join us in prayer. Father God, we thank you for today. We thank you for this time here. Lord, we thank you for our seniors. We thank you for all of the players. Lord, we pray that you protect them from all injury and all harm. Be with us on our ways back home. Protect both teams, all the parents, all the friends, all the fans on our ways back home. We thank you for everything that you do in our lives. We pray, Lord, that we give you all the praise and glory for everything that you do. It's in your name we pray. Amen. And now please remain standing for the national anthem of the United States of America, performed by SAGU alum Derek Borden. Derek is a vocalist, songwriter, and multi-instrumentalist who has been crafting his artistry for over a decade. As an up-and-coming pop R&B artist, he is currently performing shows around the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Ladies and gentlemen, now singing Derek Borden.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And there you have it. We are ready for kickoff. If you are just now joining us, the Lions won the toss and have elected to receive. Of course, SAGU wearing their home purples and the Aggies wearing their road whites in today's game as we get set for kickoff, Tim.
And be sure, right before kickoff, follow us on all our social media platforms. Stay up to date with stats, different information, and of course, all the different sports. So you're talking about a little bit of postseason opportunity for the Lions football team. There is definitely postseason in the future for the Lady Lions volleyball team over the next few weeks. So follow along for the news on all the latest sports at SAGU. Basketball season about to start too. Midnight Madness was this week. So
the Texas snowstorm next week.
Oh, you can't miss that.
It's right around the corner.
Can't miss that.
As we get set, kicking off for OPSU, Javier Medina. And it's a good kick, gonna ride the wind out the back of the end zone into the water out there on the track. And SAGU is gonna come out onto the field on offense after the touchback.
No Northey back receiving on that kickoff. Interesting. Haven't seen in many if any kickoff setups without Northey. Instead, it was just Blaine Rowe back there, as well as number 15, Jayton Taylor. So interesting setup to start off. There you see it, C.J. Collins, 239 consecutive passes without interception, as Adam mentioned pregame. That's got to be a school mark.
Collins comes out 4 wide, sends Northey in motion. He's going to hand it off to Free up the middle, and SAGU is going to start off the game with a good 6-yard run. Stephon Free takes it off the left side.
Immediately trying to establish this idea that they're not going to allow themselves to become one-dimensional today, even against a great rushing defense without a whole lot of their own resume.
No huddle. Collins looking for Torres Hill. Could not find him. I like the pace to start the game for the Lions.
I couldn't tell if that was underthrown to Torres Hill or overthrown to Northey. If he had Northey in the flat, if Northey was able to pull that down, he had a lane.
Now bringing up 3rd and 4. And we talked about this pregame. The Lions staying on the field on offense and keeping the chains moving. OPSU looks like they're going to bring pressure. Collins hands it off to Free, and he's going to be brought down for a loss of 3 on the play, and that's going to bring up 4th down for the Lions. Big stop by the Aggies.
Yeah, nothing doing there. The Aggies just kind of crashed that flood situation. Not a chance for that to go anywhere. Lions with a quick 3 and out, and as we mentioned, OPSU better than just about everybody in the NAIA in stopping third downs. The Lions were right there with them. They were at 25% allowed just a few weeks ago. That number has actually ballooned up to nearly 40% over the last few weeks, so they have struggled on third downs on their defensive end.
Gus Wright's punt hits at about the 50, is going to roll and settle, let's call it the 41-yard line. So OPSU is going to get the ball with pretty decent field position here, just shy of midfield.
Couldn't have drawn a better start for the Aggies. Obviously, more often these days, when you win the toss, you elect to defer. SAGU instead, goes with their hot offense, who put up over 50 points last week. Again, putting up nearly 40 a game all year. And factoring in the fact that you had one 9-point game to start the year off against Evangel, that's a very impressive average, but nothing doing against this Aggies defense.
Here comes Martez Vrana, the starting quarterback for the Aggies. Sends a man in motion. And he's going to swing it out to him. That looks like a backwards pass, but he's going to take it past the line of scrimmage, rolls over a defender, and picks up 9. And that's going to bring up 2nd and short here for the Aggies.
Spread out wide, have the man underneath, and just plenty of room. Good job blocking down there to give the route, or the path rather, to split up the middle, pick up nearly the first down, set up a 2nd and short.
And here come the Aggies, looking like a little bit of the pistol formation here. Brandsburg in the backfield. Vrana sends a man in motion. Takes a snap. He's going to hand it off up the middle. He's met, but then bounces off the tackle, then bounces outside, makes a couple men miss, and a long run there. Carlos Brandsburg picks up the first down and then some, moving the chains for the Aggies.
And that's actually Dylan Cullum on the run. So not even listed on the 2 deep for OPSU as their running back. It's actually Dylan Cullum who's going to pick up the first down there on the run. As we said, the Aggies do not have a one-man back. It's a lot of rotations in and out, and it is Cullum who's back there at the moment.
Here is Vrana. Cullum to his left. He's going to hand it off again. Cullum tries to take out the edge. He cuts it back up inside, and then he's going to gain about 3 on first down.
So SAGU's defense being tested early on. As we mentioned, like last week, they gave up a lot of points. They came through when it mattered most. The last 2 plays were a sack and an interception to ice the game, but they definitely struggled, and they struggled against the run all year long. One of the bottom teams in the NAIA, and already you see one big run. A gain of 3 on first down.
3 out wide for Vrana. He's going to fake the handoff, goes to throw it over the middle, off the hands of the intended receiver. And it's fortunately for the Aggies, it found no one.
Yeah, Christian Cross is in the vicinity here. SAGU does a good job, and he has a man right there. And if that ball's tipped a little bit more, Christian Cross, still with 6 interceptions on the year, one of the leaders in the NAIA, but he hasn't had one in since Ottawa, Arizona. He had a 3 interception game then, so he's still looking for number 7. He's been looking for a while.
Was looking for Jalen Fair. Now here's Vrana, 2 in the backfield with him on 3rd and 7. And he's going to fake the handoff and keep it himself, and SAGU brings him down. And we're going to call it about 2.5 yards short of the first down. It's going to bring up 4th down. An interesting field position here for the Aggies. Haven't seen a ton of motion yet on or off the field.
Vrana's definitely going to stay in the game. Looks like they're going to bring in a heavier package. SAGU did a good job of getting initial penetration, but Vrana was able to evade just enough to bring up a short 4th down attempt. And so now they will go for it, 4th and 2.
Danny Valverde comes into the game at running back. And here's Vrana on 4th down. Takes the snap, hands it off, and he gets stonewalled, and the Lions defense comes up with a big 4th down stop to stop that drive by the Aggies. Turnover on down.
And it's Landon Jones who comes in to finish off the tackle. The initial man up front, Keandre Belcher. So, I mean, essentially the 2 guys you're always looking for to make the big plays. Jones and Belcher team up to stone him on that 4th and 2.
SAGU takes over possession now. Collins comes out with, looks to be double stacks out wide for him. Collins gets a man to jump, fumbles the ball. He's going to go down deep across the sideline. Looks like he tried to split Northey and Hill. But fortunately for the Lions, they're going to get a free 5 yards out of that.
CJ had a couple of times last week that he had free plays and was able to convert big on. Nearly makes a big one there.
Offside. Defense, number 56. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Jalen Thomas gets nabbed for the offsides. As you see, Collins fumbles the ball. The snap was a little low. Couldn't really ever get a good hold of it. And then at that point, you might as well just throw it up, see what happens.
Yeah, and CJ's been great on the hard count this year. He's been drawing a lot of men offsides.
Pressure coming off the edge, picked up by Bledsoe, completes the pass to Northey. Northey gets swung down. They have him marked just at the first down marker, and they are going to give it to him. 1st and 10 Lions.
Solid route by Northey, just cutting upfield, turning around, creating that separation on the initial cut to make the room to pick up the first down. Just to the edge of the 41-yard line. After they went 3 and out on the last drive.
Collins now 5 wide as he sends Bledsoe out as a receiver. Tries to complete the quick pass to Northey, and it's just a little wide. Northey can't haul it in.
Yeah, definitely seeing a lot tighter coverage up front. And I think that's Jalen Thomas, who's right on Northey, giving him no room to breathe.
Brings up 2nd and 10 now for the Lions.
2 in the backfield behind Northey.
Don't see this often. Collins pitching it out to Free, looking for some running room. He's going to get pushed out of bounds after a gain of 1, and the Aggies did a good job of stringing that out and not really allowing any running room to the outside for the speedy Free.
Yeah, you bring in the big lead blocker there for the Lions. That's, I believe that's Jalen Haynes, who comes in to be the big lead blocker for Free. But the Aggies did a good job of not letting him go through the path that he was trying to clear. Instead, he gets forced out of bounds.
They're actually
able to pick into anything.
Marking for no gain. Collins now back to pass, steps up in the pocket, floats it out to Northey. Northey gets enough for the first down, and then about 5 more, they're going to call it. That's going to be a first down for the Lions. Good job of Collins to step up in the pocket there.
Great awareness to know that it's starting to crash around him.
And down goes Northey. Northey cannot make it back to his feet after that reception, and this would be a big blow for the Lions. He does get up and is walking under his own power.
Yeah, he's trying to shoo the athletic staff away, but he will head towards the sideline. And he got brought down pretty hard by multiple players at the end of, like I said, a great play, great awareness by CJ. As you watch here, the pocket collapses around him, so he steps up, freezes the linebacker just enough to give Northey the room. Yeah, Northey, it looks like he's going to kind of collide with a knee on with his head there. Shaken up, and he will step to the sideline. Definitely not a weapon you want to lose.
Collins comes out with 3 bunched out to his left. Stephon Free still in the backfield with him. Collins takes the snap. He's back to pass. They bring pressure down deep across the middle, looking for Dotson. Had single coverage, but the ball was just overthrown. OPSU showing a couple blitz packages here.
Yeah, gets the ball out of Collins' hand a little too soon, and he hurries him. Ball goes high, and Dotson was very well covered too. So far, OPSU not giving SAGU the kind of room that they sometimes are able to create with all the different weapons they have out there.
Troy Joseph was on an island with Dotson, and Joseph stands himself at about 6 feet, so he's not giving up a ton to Dotson, just 3 inches. Free now down across the outside, runs into the aforementioned Troy Joseph and gets pushed out of bounds. And a good job by Joseph to fight off the block of Dotson.
That's just a strong defensive play. You got a running back coming almost full speed at you. You're getting blocked. Shed the block, stands your man up. No gain for the Lions, brings up another 3rd and long.
Collins comes out with 3 wide to his left. Still Stephon Free in the backfield with him. 3rd and 10. Sends Carr in motion. Now Collins back to pass, deep drop. Looking across the middle for Carr. Cannot find him, and that's going to bring up 4th down now here for SAGU. And it looks like they are going to bring the punt team out.
And for the 3rd straight play, it was Troy Joseph making the coverage there, not allowing any sort of room. And so SAGU, after picking up some first downs, drive peters out at the 44-yard line, thanks to, basically to Troy Joseph. He was in on coverage on both passes and makes the tackle.
Gus Wright back to punt for the Lions. Kyson Hudson to return. Hudson is going to let this one bounce. It takes an Aggie bounce and then settles at the 20 where it's picked up. And same as a touchback, OPSU is going to take the ball over at the 20-yard line after, like you said, the SAGU drive petered out after a couple of first downs.
And that was a very favorable bounce for the Aggies. But that's where you want to stick it, honestly, to get a roll. You're not risking a touchback. You're hoping it rolls inside the 10. Instead, the punt only nets 24 yards. And again, it put it in a great spot. Just when you have that oblong, you just don't know what it's going to do. And the Aggies take advantage there.
Here is Vrana. Tight formation. Gets a man to jump. No flag yet. Vrana steps up in the pocket. He rolls out, looking for a man. He's got a man deep. If he can hit him, it is not brought in. Broken up there. Good job by
Gus Wright.
Gus Wright.
And that's perfect timing by Gus Wright as well. When you have this kind of play and the ball is hanging up there for so long, it's so hard not to interfere. But he's going to come in and make contact with the receiver who has to slow down. Perfect timing. The ball hits his hands and he knocks the ball loose, knocks the receiver off his feet. Otherwise, that would have been a huge gain.
I had to look twice because Gus Wright just punted the ball and then is out there in coverage. The linebacker / punter for the Lions brings up 2nd and 10. Vrana sends a man in motion. He's going to fake the handoff and roll out. Escapes one tackle by Derek Shelby. And then he gets met again by Shelby. The pursuit by Derek Shelby to bring down Vrana and Landon Jones. Who else but Landon Jones is in on the tackle as well?
And Derek Shelby, he's going to get the tackle here, but more importantly, he influences another play. There's so many times we've called his name this year where he didn't show up on the stat sheet, but he influenced the play, and he immediately busts the play, forces Vrana out of the pocket, never gives up on it, and only allows a gain of 1 on the scramble.
3rd and long now here for the Aggies. Vrana has got 2 men in the backfield with him. Sends a man in motion, and he's going to hand it off up the middle. The Lions do end up getting a stop. That's going to bring up 4th and 4.
Gus Wright again on the play, so 2 plays for Gus Wright. Crashing through the middle, wrapping the running back up. And our 4th punt of the game's coming up. If you were watching last year's game, I'm pretty sure the score was 21-14 at this point.
3rd punt, they went for it on 4th down.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yes, so 4 drives without a score, but
Eduardo Villarreal comes in to punt for OPSU. Back to return, good news, is Sam Northey. Back to return this punt. Northey underneath it, he hauls it in. He's got a little bit of space and he can dance. We do get a whistle.
They're going to say, I think they're going to say he called for a fair catch. They did say
the
beanbag came out, and I don't think
Timeout, media timeout.
And I don't think he actually called for a fair catch. I'm pretty sure.
Northey looked like he settled underneath that, and there is a discussion going on here. Typically Northey with that much room, you don't see him call for a fair catch.
No, I'm pretty sure he was taking a step back and just kind of threw his arms. And when he threw his arms, one just kind of went a little bit higher than it might normally, and the ref saw that as calling for a fair catch. And you see the coach Smith is discussing it right now with the referee.
No one was playing it like a fair catch.
No.
On either side of the ball. The Aggies and the Lions were both playing it out, and we saw Northey heading to the sideline, and we've seen him a couple of times this season kick it into a new gear around the sidelines and outrun everybody. So that could be a very big break for the Aggies because Northey, he had a little bit of room there.
Yeah, he had some room to work with, and at the very least, he was going to pick up 5 or 6 yards. He had some pursuers on him.
Tough break for the Lions. Good break if you're the Aggies, but SAGU, regardless, is going to take over at the 34-yard line as we are still locked into a 0-0 game here. Collins comes out. He's got 5 wide, 4 to his right. Torres Hill on an island to his left. Collins back to pass. Gets it to Dotson across the middle. Dotson falls forward, and he's going to get enough for a first down. And there they just had kind of a clear-out pattern there with the 4 wide.
Exactly what you run that crossing pattern. You have a man underneath that kind of bumps, a little bit of a bump, a little bit of a rub route, not enough to draw any sort of pass interference, but you do just enough to give him that space, pick up a quick first down.
And they come out in the same formation again. Collins, 1st and 10. OPSU, they bring 5. Collins off the back foot, finds Northey. Northey tries to make a man miss, but he ducks underneath and falls forward for another first down. Back-to-back passes from Collins now.
And he's
net a first down.
Northey a little bit limp again getting up, but Collins doesn't do it both ways. He had to step up in the pocket on the last drive, and that time he's having to backpedal and throw it off his back foot.
You typically
Both
don't
times,
want to
though.
see him throw it off the back foot.
No,
but
you don't, but Northey did a great job of being so open that CJ, it was easy pickings.
Pitches it out to Bledsoe. Bledsoe cuts it back up, and Bledsoe's going to get a good gain there. We're going to call it about 4. Bring up 2nd and 6.
We're seeing SAGU with this rushing attack going to the corners more. You know, we've already seen a pitch play or two, just trying to spread out so that they can get one-on-one blocking assignments and try to spring for a hole. I don't think they're going to try to dare to go up the middle much today against the Aggies.
They bring a blitz off the edge again. It's picked up. Collins looking for Carr. There is a flag that comes out from the far official. We'll see what they call here. It did look like Carr got hooked on that route. And I think they're just going to try to get the player number here.
Well, they're talking it over with the Aggies, so the indication would seem to be on SAGU.
Yeah.
Legal formation. Offense, number 64 was not on the line. That penalty's declined. 3rd down.
So it's going to bring up a 3rd and 6 as the Aggies do decline it.
And I think that shows how the Aggies are approaching this game. Typically, let's push them back 5 yards, but they know that SAGU's going through the air. They know that 3rd and 6 is in no way a rushing down for them, so go ahead. There's really no difference for the Lions between 3rd and 6 and 3rd and 11 since they're going to do it through the air.
Northey in motion. Collins swings it out to Northey. Going to try to get it over the field. Huge hit out there, and we've called his name a couple of times already. That is number 21 for the Aggies. Troy Joseph lays a huge hit on Sam Northey.
Yeah, Northey was doomed from the time this developed. Pass is too slow. Just lays a shoulder into Northey, throws him for a loss of 3. And another SAGU drive will die inside Aggies territory.
Northey somehow held on to that ball, and it ends up with a loss of 3. Now Gus Wright to punt it from the 40. It's a high punt, looking for that corner again. And it's going to land. Can the Lions fall on it? They cannot. It's going to end up in the end zone for a touchback, and that's a tough break because that was a beautiful punt by Gus Wright.
Perfectly placed, and he gets the roll. I'm not sure how this snuck through everybody. It just seemed to, it looked for sure with 5 or 6 Lions around it, somebody would find a way to bring it down, but it's able to roll the last, let's just see where it actually impacts. It's going to impact at the 12-yard line, and right here,
Xavier Pittman had his hands on it.
It looks like he actually grabbed it and rolled over with it, and it rolled into the end zone. So another special teams break for the Aggies is going to give them the ball at the 20-yard line instead of what could have been inside the 5.
5:45 left here to play in the first quarter, and it is still 0-0. OPSU comes out, and he's going to fake the handoff, roll out to his right. In pursuit is Derek Shelby. He's going to force a little razzle-dazzle here, and he's going to try to go down the field. A flag comes in. The ball gets batted around for a while and then hits the ground eventually, but a flag from the official in the secondary. So we'll see who this could be on. It could be on anyone at this point.
Yeah, at this point, the play goes that long. Offensive pass interference, defensive holding, illegal contact, who even knows? As, yeah, Shelby and Vrana were in a tango back there, running circles around each other. Early indication seems to be it might be on the Aggies.
Pass interference. Offense, number 82. Half the distance to the goal. 1st down.
Looks like they're going to nab Kyler Musgrave, the tight end, for the pass interference.
Yeah, and just watch here. And Shelby and Vrana. Shelby's pursuing. Vrana spins out. Shelby gets back up, pursues again. He runs to his right, rolls out, and just gets down. And, yeah, it looks like it will just be a little bit too much contact by Musgrave. So 2nd and 20.
1st and 20.
Oh, 1st and 20.
Vrana is going to keep it himself and get about 4. Going to bring up 2nd and 16.
Just a little direct snap to the quarterback, roll out, try to give yourself a little bit of breathing room away from your own 10-yard line. Still a lot of yards to pick up, but like I said, just want to give some breathing room in case it all stalls out here. You'd never want your punter in the end zone when you're punting it away.
No. Vrana now with 3 out wide to his right. Going to do a little bit of check with me as he scans the defense, moves things around a little bit. Vrana takes the snap, rolling out to his right.
Shelby.
It looked like he was trying to go for a shovel pass, but he ends up finding his man, and it's going to be brought down at the 22. It looked like they were trying to set up a little bit of a shovel pass, it looked like, but Shelby got in the face.
Yeah,
totally running back.
Broke it up, but Seth Barbarino does a good job just staying in his spot. Honestly, the Lions just broke away from him. Barbarino didn't do any moves. He just stayed pat at the 20-yard line, waited to get open, and was able to pick up 8 yards, bring up a 3rd and 8.
This is manageable. This is more manageable. 3rd and 8 now. Vrana back to pass. Going to complete it short across the middle, makes a man miss, and he's going to make a lot of men miss. Up the sideline, it's a foot race at this point. Christian Cross in pursuit is going to take him down out of bounds. A huge play for the Aggies as he gets it down inside the 20 at the 15.
I believe that's Jalen Hare. Again, he's going to catch a pass over the middle. He's coming across the middle of the field, catches it, and just looks for that sideline. Lions unable to make the tackle, and then he has the corner. And he almost goes the distance. Christian Cross saves the touchdown, but the Aggies are set up inside the Lions' red zone now as we approach 4 minutes to play.
The first red zone opportunity for either team as Vrana sets up shop here, 1st and 10 from the 15. Vrana, he's going to hand it off up the middle, makes a couple of men miss, and then runs into a safety. And he's going to get brought down after a gain of, we'll call it 8. Danny Valverde on the carry.
And now they target the middle after, again, escaping a 1st and 20 situation at their own 10. Go straight up the middle on just a power run play inside the Lions' 10. The Aggies offense has found something now.
3:40 left to play here in the first quarter. 2nd and 2 from the 7. Vrana hands it off to Valverde again, and he just kind of finds his way up the middle and gets enough for the 1st down, and then gets brought down at the 2. It's going to be 1st and goal here for the Steers. For the Aggies, rather.
And the Lions are going to bring in some heavier men up front as back-to-back plays.
Valverde again gets brought down, waiting on a signal here. They may mark him down at the 1.
Yeah, they're going to say he is just shy of the end zone, bring up a 2nd and goal from the half-yard line. As they try to get a play off quickly. And credit, I think that might have been Eric Berry who was able to clean up on that one, at least keep the Aggies out of the end zone for one play.
Carlos Ransberg checks into the game for Valverde in a heavy package in. Vrana's going to keep it himself, and he's going to get in for the touchdown. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the first score of the game. It puts the Aggies up 6-0 on the Lions.
Just a simple off-tackle run. Everyone does a good enough job blocking. You only need half a yard. Vrana goes in, and the Aggies complete what's technically an 80-yard drive, but go ahead and mark it down for 90 after the offensive pass interference. They get out of the shadow of their own end zone, and thanks to a huge play, they get on the scoreboard first.
On to kick now, Javier Medina to make it 7-0. Medina puts it up, and it is good. It was nearly blocked there by the SAGU Lion, Wade Polk, who's been coming off the edge all season. Coming off the edge all season for the Lions. Has gotten close a ton of times on blocking extra points and field goals. And you talk to the coaches, and they always say, he's going to get one. He's going to get one.
It feels like the whole team, bringing it on punts, field goals, they've been so close all year, and they just haven't been able to. So it definitely feels like, you know, that it's due. Now, obviously, you're running out of time. you can say it's due, but you've only got 7 quarters of football left. And so now, again, SAGU's offense is going to have to answer. They had to get used to answering last week. Score update for you there. Evangel leads Missouri Valley 27-0. Evangel suffered a tough loss last week, dropped them to number 11 overall, but they are still well within the NAIA playoff picture as long as they were to win out and win their conference.
27 points through a quarter and a half there for Evangel. That's not bad.
And that's what they need to put up. They need to be putting up some great performances.
What did you say? 60 is the new 40?
Yeah, exactly. to impress anybody in this league, you got to put up 60 points. Anything less than 60, that's easy.
5:45 left in that second quarter.
The Lions go back to a kickoff, and again, we're not going to see a Sam Northey on the kick return.
Yeah, we see Blaine Rowe back there.
Blaine Rowe has typically been your second man, but now he seems to be your first option. That's going to go into the end zone touchback. So interesting. Yeah, now as before, Northey got dinged up at the beginning of the game. So now C.J. Collins will come out and needing to score to tie up, and they were used to this last week, needing scores to stay in the game. And interesting to see how they answer the bell now with offense just hasn't been able to really get clicking. Yeah, they've had twice inside OPSU territory, and both times just kind of fell apart thanks to some great defensive plays, individual plays by individual players on the Aggie side.
And this is not a defense that you want to find yourself down a score against. They're a good defense. And looks like they're going to bring some pressure again. Collins flips it out to Carr. Carr's got some room to run. He's going to duck his head and get enough for the first down. Move the chains again here for the Lions. And let's see if they can't get something cooking here on offense.
Torres Hill is going to be able to drag his defender off of Carr, give him the room he needs to work with. And Carr's footwork is just so excellent. Always does a great job. Just a route running master, Jeremy Carr. Even though it's just a short route, he does exactly what he needs to do to be open and has the room to work with.
Here is Collins, 4 wide. Bledsoe fakes the handoff to him, looking deep to Hill. Hill looked like he stopped running. A little miscommunication there for the Lions. He had him. He was wide open on the outside.
I don't think that was the play design. I think CJ, after the play action pass, I think he might have been looking for a wheel route here. Instead, he looks and he sees Torres wide open and gets the ball out a little too quickly, and Torres had slowed up a little bit. It feels like Torres might have been more of a distraction or a blocker on that play design, and instead almost he became the home run.
Here is Collins now out 4 wide to his right, looking for Blaine Rowe down the middle, and as he's done all season, Blaine Rowe shows up down the middle of the field, those tough catches in traffic. Blaine Rowe hauls it in and moves the chains.
Yeah, he has not really put up a whole lot of numbers, but he has had to go up and make some plays. And that was another one. A high pass, but goes up, gets both hands on it.
It seems like every catch Rowe has had this season has been down the middle, up high, tough catches. Torres Hill, Collins looking for Torres Hill rather, one-on-one. Can't find him on the slant route, brings up 2nd and 10.
Excellent coverage by Gerald Broussard. Staying with Torres Hill right on the line.
Hill has been one-on-one coverage down there all game. And you got to think, eventually they're going to take a shot. Torres Hill, the big-bodied receiver, he stands at 6'4". You got to think they got to take a shot sooner or later to Hill.
And now they've got Northey lined up next to him, so maybe that's what they're looking for now.
Collins on 2nd and 10. The snap is rolled back to him, and Collins wisely just falls on it. And that's twice now that's happened this game, where the snap has come back to Collins a little low.
That was a problem they struggled with early on this season. They had cleaned it up, but yeah, that's 2 now. One was on a free play, and he was unable to get a big gain off of the free play. This one sets him up 3rd and a mile.
And they bring pressure. Collins back to pass, going deep down the middle, finds Jeremy Carr. Carr makes a man miss. He gets tripped up, but it's enough for the first down. Collins doing a good job of floating back a little bit further and then getting that pass completed to Jeremy Carr.
That's all veteran, making the pass with the pressure in his face. Carr getting quickly down the field, picking up the first down, not just getting rid of the ball, picking up a first down on what was a 3rd and 16.
Out quick again to Collins. Dotson blocking. Carr makes a man miss, down now inside the 20, and the Lions now have a shot here inside the red zone of the Aggies, and it's going to be 1st and 10. Call it at the 18-yard line here for the Lions.
It's always such a huge momentum boost when you save a drive that looked dead after the sack.
Collins hands it off. Bledsoe up the middle, gets met quickly, and he's got a gain of, let's call it maybe 3.
Michael Bledsoe on the run.
SAGU quickly everybody's staying pat in the pocket, lining up. They have OPSU out of position right now as they're trying to make some quick substitutions.
Collins, 4 wide, fakes a handoff. Back to pass, looking for Carr. Carr brings it in. He's got to have enough for the first down. He's going to set up 1st and goal. Collins, feed the hot hand. Jeremy Carr's been very good on this
watch this right here. He comes across the middle, squares his shoulders, makes sure his defender is completely on his back, unable to come over the top and make any sort of breakup. Goes up high and gets it. Lions 1st and goal.
From the 6, Collins back to pass. Looking for Carr. Carr brings it in. Great concentration, but maybe even a better throw by Collins.
Perfect throw because there's a defender coming across the middle of the field who has a chance to make a play on it here. Puts it where Carr, and get great hands by Jeremy Carr, spinning around in midair to get both hands on it. And the Lions answer right back after going down 7-0. Thanks to a huge 3rd and long conversion with pressure in his face. C.J. Collins is clicking now, and as the extra point is up and good with that touchdown pass, C.J. Collins has now broken his own single season record for touchdowns in a season. And this is the 9th game of the season. That was through 11 games last year.
Jeremy Carr as well with his 7th touchdown catch of the season. Collins with his 27th touchdown pass of the year, 27-4 for Collins. So that is 21 straight touchdown passes without interception.
And I believe Jeremy Carr on senior day here, it must be right on the doorstep or might have just broken the all-time SAGU receiving record.
They did announce at pregame he needed 7 catches for 64 yards. You got to think he's right there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if he has the 7 catches yet, but 64 yards, he might just be there at the moment. So records falling left and right with these SAGU seniors, and they knocked the game up with half a minute to play in the first quarter.
And it just shows you, we talked about it pregame, it shows you the significance of these players that SAGU has had the last 4 years, where it's a new mentality, it's a new football team. They're winning. They're not going to come into a season expecting to be 3-7, 2-8 anymore. They're expecting 7-3, 8-2, 9-1 seasons. And this group of seniors, you can see it with the records that they're setting. This is an all-time great class that the Lions have had.
Yeah, they're setting records that won't be easily broken. There's going to be it's going to take some very impressive outings. Not just impressive outings, it's going to take 4 years. It's going to take 4 full years of impressive outings.
TH comes up and pooches it, tries to get it to play with the wind, but it is going to be corralled in and fallen on by the Aggies. That was pretty dangerous.
Well, we saw SAGU recover a kick like that last week. It got called back because of an offsides on the kickoff, but they had against Texas Wesleyan last year recovered an onside kick at the 35-yard line with that exact same kind of play, just a high winding kick that drops in. So now Vrana will step back in, and SAGU was able to answer very quickly what they did.
Vrana takes a snap. He's going to keep it himself, bounces it to the outside, and he's got some room. Flag does come in, and it's going to be in the area of holding. But if this play stands, Vrana has himself a first down and then some.
Yeah, definitely in the vicinity of holding. Looked like it might have been a block in the back around the edge as well, so it might be almost take your pick of which penalty to call.
Holding. Offense, number 16. 10-yard penalty from the prior spot. First down.
It is on Emil Kola, the wide receiver.
On the outside.
Yeah, right there is going to get a hold of the jersey, and then's going to also get a block in the back, so you could have called him on either penalty, but it's going to erase a first down run and bring up a 1st and 17 instead.
Dylan Cullum in the backfield. Vrana sends him in motion. A little bit of a pistol going on here. Vrana hands it off to Cullum. Cullum following his blockers, and he's going to squeak ahead, get just past the original line of scrimmage, going to make it 2nd and 8 as the horn sounds, and that is the end of the first quarter, knotted up at 7 apiece. What has just been a defensive battle between both of these teams. Just now breaking that battle as both teams have scored on their last drives respectively, but they go into the second quarter here knotted up at 7 apiece.
I was saying pregame how the Aggies need to find their hot hand, and I said Ransburg, he's been the guy who's technically led you in all your stats, but it has been Cullum that they've been going to, and he's been running shoulders squared and heavy so far. He was crucial to the last touchdown drive. Also had a big run to set them up on their first drive before they were failed to pick up the 4th down. So Cullum might be the hot hand they're looking for today to drive this rushing attack to victory. And if you're SAGU, you did a pretty good job on defense, though. You're definitely not on pace for what you usually give up.
Coming out here 2nd and 8 for the Aggies after that good run by Cullum, after a holding call on a better run by Vrana. took them back to 1st and 17 as the teams have flipped sides as we get ready for the second quarter to begin.
So the wind will be aiding the Lions in this quarter, and the wind did seem to be pretty important in the last quarter. It did seem to affect both teams' kickoff and punting abilities.
Vrana gonna take the snap, hand it off, cuts it up the middle, and another good carry for these running backs, but he gets walloped, but he looks like he's gonna have just enough for the first down, but he took a hard hit to Dylan Cullum, was wrapped up. You'll see it here at the end of the play.
Yeah, this is not what you want to be, is a guy being held up and, just
Christian
getting blasted by Christian Cross. Cullum is definitely shaken up. That's the worst position for a running back, is being held up like that, still trying to drive forward and having a guy come in. You have no protection. Your arms are getting held down to your side. You're squared up straight to the guy. And it looked like he took a shoulder straight to the head. And he is down on the field. And he has been the workhorse so far in this game for the Aggies. Catch another replay here. Gets the initial hole. And yeah, he's going to get wrapped up right here, but still driving forward before Cross comes in. And Cross, nothing legal about it, and leads with the shoulder, lowers the shoulder, no spearing, no targeting there. Cullum getting onto his feet now. He's gonna need a little bit of help getting to the sideline though. So if the Aggies, not what you wanted to see, is he is able to reel off 2 straight runs to erase a 1st and 17, give you a fresh set of downs up at the 42.
Christian Cross, who we saw start the season as a corner with the absence of Malik Golden, has moved back to the safety position as Bryce Bailey and Malik Golden have the corner defensive back positions covered. And you might as well put Christian Cross back there. 3 playmakers, and Bailey, Golden, and Cross in that secondary is never a bad thing. And now the Aggies come out. 2 out to his right is Vrana. Vrana takes the snap. He's going to hand it off. Up the middle again. Huge hole. He makes a man miss. Stays on his feet. Now past the 30, down at just about the 20. Call it 21-yard line. Another huge run for this Aggies offense.
And it's Carlos Ransburg who's going to do it. And you want to talk about a change of pace after Cullum goes out. Now Ransburg is limping off the field, though, barely putting any weight on his left foot after he reels off a huge, speedy run. So 2 straight plays, 2 great runs, but the Aggies lose running backs on both the plays.
Valverde comes in. Valverde gets stonewalled at the line of scrimmage, and he's going to get a no gain here, bringing up 2nd and 10.
That's what I was looking for at the end of the play. It looked like Ransburg was hurt, and he tried to get back to the huddle at the end of the play, and the players were telling him, get to the sideline, get to the sideline. He hobbled to the sideline and immediately collapsed, where he is still being looked at the moment. So, again, for the Aggies, you're just really starting to get this rushing attack to work, and then potentially lose 2 running backs on back-to-back plays. But the Aggies are still at the 21-yard line.
Vrana hands it off again. Valverde around the edge. He's going to make a man miss, skip up ahead. It's going to bring up 3rd and about 4. Call it 3rd and 3 here for the Aggies.
And this is the kind of drive the Aggies want to reel off. Blocking on the outside, keeping the guy in front of you so you don't get called for holding. Pick up 7 yards, and the Aggies' rushing attack is really, really starting to show right now. Even sustaining some injuries, they're still clicking.
3rd and short now for the Aggies. Vrana puts a man in motion, hands it off to Valverde. Valverde bounces it outside. He's got the corner. Can he get around Malik Golden? He cannot. Golden forces him down, but that's going to bring up a 1st and goal here for the Aggies.
Great job up front, even though they weren't, springing any holes for him to run through. They just kept winning the battles at the line with the Lions defense. Gives him the room to spring around the corner, even though it doesn't break for something big. You get the first down. That's all that really matters on a 3rd and 3 there, and sets up 1st and goal.
1st and goal from the 7 now for the Aggies. Here's Vrana. Vrana takes a snap. He's going to hand it off to Valverde again. Spins off a tackle and gets maybe a yard or 2 more. We're going to call it a gain of 1 for Danny Valverde.
A little bit of extra effort there. Avoided what could have been a 1 or 2 yard loss. Keeps pushing forward. The Aggies have run every play this drive. We've pushed the ball to the Lions 6, looking to regain the lead here at the beginning of the second quarter.
Vrana now. Valverde stays in the backfield. Vrana hands it off to Valverde again. Up the middle. An easy touchdown here for the Aggies as Danny Valverde takes it out from 6 to put the Aggies up 13-7, maybe 14, barring the extra point.
Yeah, and once the initial hole was won, Valverde goes right through it. SAGU linebacker unable to make any sort of tackle, diving with his hands. Easy walk-in touchdown, and the Aggies talked about a pregame, run, run, run. Well, that's exactly what they did on that drive, going all the way down the field with their running backs, utilizing 3 different backs, with 2 of them going out with injuries. Ends with an extra point up and good, and they do lead 14-7.
Javier Medina puts the extra point through. And back-to-back drives now here by the Aggies have resulted in touchdowns.
And that's exactly what they want to start doing, is getting SAGU on their heels. They want to get that defense tired. They want to run a lot. Time for college football trivia. And
Going D1 here, Tim.
We don't know the answer to this. We don't know what the question is. Who was the starting center during Ricky Williams' 1998 Heisman Trophy winning season?
I was 8 years old, so I don't know.
This is coming so out of left field. I have to assume there's going to be a very intriguing tie-in. Otherwise, it feels like we are just throwing you guys a curveball at home. You guys just all of a sudden asked the $2,000 question on Jeopardy. I don't know.
We'll find out here in a minute. But we're
98 Texas team. Let me think here. I was living 7,000 miles away that year, so I wasn't paying much attention to UT football. Kickoff is bobbled.
Line drive to Stephon Free. Stephon Free now up the sideline. He's going to take it past the 35. The low line drive kick hit Free right in the chest. I don't think he was ready for that one. Typically, you don't see that kind of kick.
He was not at all, but he bats it down, is able to kind of recover and give SAGU good field position, as now it's back to the offense. He has to chase it down to the 18. That's always a scary moment with the defenders coming, the kick team running, and you've got to get on it real fast, and does a good job recovering, giving the Lions the ball.
They're going to say he was out of bounds before he reached the 35. They're going to set up shop here at the 28 as Collins has 4 wide. Collins back to pass, deep drop, looking for Carr on a deep out. Finds Carr, tries to make a man miss. He does. Carr ducks out of bounds after the first down. Jeremy Carr doing a good job after the catch there. I don't think he initially had it in that little spin to get rid of the defender, picks up the first.
Watch this replay. CJ, let's go with the ball here. Carr's back, it's still to him. That is what you do when you have 2 excellent 4-year seniors out there who have played with each other for this long. Carr lets loose of that ball, and Carr is still muscling up the field.
Collins finds Carr again, and Carr is going to fall for about 4. You got to think he's got the 7 catches and the yardage most likely to make him the all-time SAGU receiver.
Almost certainly. It'd been nice for poetic reasons if he got it on that last touchdown. We'll have to look it up at some point. But either way, he is definitely the SAGU leading receiver. If he's not technically now, he will be probably in around 1 play.
Collins rolls out, finds Carr again. Carr with 3 straight catches is going to bring up 3rd and 1. And this is an interesting down here for the Lions. 3rd and short when your running game has been almost non-existent this game. And they got a running back in the backfield who's known for his hands, and Jayton Taylor is not known as a downhill runner. Really, he's more of a receiving back. So we'll see what they do here. They keep him on the field. Collins moves Taylor to his left. They are going to pass. Gets it out quick over the head of Jeremy Carr, and that's going to bring up 4th and 1. Do the Lions go for it here at midfield?
I don't see anybody flinching at the moment. I don't see Gus Wright anywhere. CJ is calling it in. I think they're going to stay. It's going to be 4th and a long one. Ball just outside the 49-yard line. They need the 50.
Collins is going to hand it off to Taylor. Taylor gets dropped for a loss, and that is a turnover on downs. And the Aggies are going to take ball over here in SAGU territory, and a huge stop for the Aggies.
That play just took way too long to develop. That needs to happen very quickly, especially with such a strong defensive front as the Aggies have. CJ, it felt like he was standing there for an eternity with the ball out, trying to hand it off. And a huge, huge stop by OPSU, taking over in SAGU territory, already up 7. And they've got their eyes on the conference. And that's one way to do it, is start shutting down what has been one of the most high-powered offenses around.
Danny Valverde remains in the game for the Aggies, so they must not be confident that their other 2 running backs are healthy at this point. And his first carry is a pretty good one. That's about, well, they're going to mark him back for 3. It looked like he ducked out of bounds for maybe 5 or 6.
This might be Valverde's game at this point. I would, I hate to say it, but I would be stunned if Dylan Cullum was back in. He seemed very shaken up. You want to, all safety and all precautions there. He's just going to stand to see what Carlos Ransberg's, what happened to him actually, if it was structural or if it was just a little twist.
Vrana keeps it himself. He's trying to bounce it outside, running laterally. He's going to spin off a tackle, gets brought down, and gets enough for the first down. They're going to mark him just in front of that first down marker. Vrana, a good job of being patient and really waiting for the holes to open up there.
And being patient downfield. It's one thing to be patient in the backfield when you have offensive linemen in front of you. He was being patient for things to develop later on down the field. It essentially almost runs a ribbon route. It runs out, circles back around, finds another route, and picks up the first down to the 36-yard line as the option play freezes SAGU enough.
Vrana now, 2 men in the backfield with him. 1st and 10 after a new set of downs from the 41. Vrana hands it off to Valverde. Valverde falls forward for about 2. We haven't seen them throw the ball here in a while.
No, it's been a long time since Vrana's had to pass, because this is the game plan they want to execute. And so as long as it's working, keep it up. And then eventually, obviously you're going to have play action have to start emerging as SAGU is loading the box. They got 7 men there with Christian Cross being the 1-man deep, and he's really spying the backfield himself. He's not worrying too much. He's drifting a little bit over now.
And here is the first pass in a while, but it is going to be not broken up rather, but the swarm of Lions bring him down for a loss. It looks like he had no gain, but tried to fight for some yards and ended up hurting him more than it helped.
This is one of those times almost that this place will take a little bit longer to develop. They kind of flooded to the right, trying to fool SAGU. You almost need to make that develop a little bit longer, get a distraction over there, get guys to over-pursue. It happened too quickly, so nobody had over-pursued yet. They were all still at home. They were still in their initial 1 position. That allowed them to just stay at home, fight their way through, throw OPSU for a big loss, set up a 3rd and long.
And this is where you want this Aggies offense. They are run heavy. 3rd and 12 here. Vrana's almost certainly going to have to pass, but he ends up handing it off to Valverde, and Valverde, a good job by the Lions. You don't expect to see a run up the middle at that point, but they do a good job of staying home and bringing up 4th.
That might have been exactly the Aggies' plan, is they don't feel super confident throwing into the wind, hope SAGU sells out for it, and you've already seen yourself break off a number of 10, 15-yard plus runs. But SAGU's defense steps up strong after the Aggies take over on the turnover on downs in Lions territory. Great showing by the Lions defense to keep this a 1-score game and bring the punt unit out. Aggies do have a chance to pin the Lions deep.
Northey back to return this punt. The last time we saw him return a punt, the ghost fair catch happened. A knuckleballer is going to fall and hit. Northey brings it in dangerously, gets brought down inside the 10.
He was notorious for stuff like that last year, and my heart has been so thankful that he hasn't been doing stuff like that this year. That is Samuel Northey risking a turnover to save 5-6 yards. It's honestly, it's big because you have the ball at the 9 yet now. That's room to work. That's room for CJ to drop back in. The ball is not at the 2-3 yard line, but that is a dangerous situation. Typically, you're going to want to let that roll, but Northey is going to go up for it.
It's better to, in my opinion, it's better to lose those 5 yards than it is to risk that going off your hands. But if I'm okay with one person on this Lions team getting that ball like that, it's Sam Northey. Here is the college football trivia question. Who was the starting center during Ricky Williams' 1998 Heisman Trophy winning season? Tim.
Not even a guess. Not even a
guess at this point.
Not a clue.
Russell Gaskamp was the center for Ricky Williams' 1998 Heisman Trophy winning season. And there you see it. There's the tie-in.
I was about to say, I was like, all right, well, there you go. So OPSU's head coach, he is blocking royalty. Of course, I don't know how much you had to block for Ricky Williams. You see right here, the old school Ricky Williams out there and finding a lane. Perhaps thanks to Russell Gaskamp, or perhaps thanks he was also the greatest running back in college football history.
It might be the best college running back ever.
You gotta love being a center for that guy.
A flag comes in as the snap is fielded by Collins on the run by Free.
I knew it would tie in somehow. I was about to say, there's no way that we're just pulling. Who was the starting?
Offside, defense, number 48, 5-yard penalty. First down.
And it had to be an OPSU factor.
I was about to say, I almost knew it had to be. I'm like, if someone on this Lions squad was connected to Ricky Williams, I think I would have known it by now.
It's not Ryan Smith.
I would have asked for at least 2 or 3 Ricky Williams stories by now. Come on. We'd be doing some interviews.
There's 1st and 5 for the Lions. Collins going to hand it off again. Stephon Free up the middle, and he could be gone. He will be gone. Stephon Free shows the speed past the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown Lions. From 86 yards, Stephon Free ties the game back up at 14 apiece, barring an extra point. And there you see it, the running game, not good all season, but right there, it looked pretty good.
That's one way to get your running game started, just break it all. And really, it looked like OPSU was so tight to the line. They didn't have any safeties back in coverage. They've been showing that man-to-man up front. They've been doing a good job shutting it down. As you see his head thrown back, giving every ounce of effort. He was not going to get brought down. He was going to hustle the whole way to the end zone. Big turnaround for the Lions.
We got a flag coming in here on the extra point before the snap even happens. We'll see what this is. And it could be 12 men on the field against OPSU as we see one scamper off. Yep, it is going to be 12 men on the field.
And TH is going to ask whether they want to accept it or not. Sometimes you'll decline those because you don't want to mess with your kicker's head with where he's set up at.
Illegal participation, defense. After this is the goal.
So they will accept it.
They will accept it. Now it's going to be kicked from the half-yard line,
yeah,
the 1-yard line.
Makes all the difference of about a yard there.
TH on for the extra point. Make it 14 apiece. Balboa to hold. Marcus Rodriguez to snap. Snap is down, kick is up, and it is good. TH ties it up at 14 apiece after the splash play by Stephon Free. The 86-yard run ties it all up.
Again, the Lions are not even averaging 100 yards rushing a game.
Speaking of Ricky Williams, the 86-yard runs, if we're just talking about it now, Stephon Free, what a run. Almost untouched.
Pretty much, yeah. Sheds one hand tackle in the middle of the field, and then it was all gone. There's no way anybody's going to catch him, especially when he's giving that long stride, arms pumping. He can see the ticker tape at the end, going into the end zone. And like I said, when you're not even averaging 100 yards rushing a game, a quick way to turn that around is, well, break off 86 in one play.
That'll put a chunk in it.
Yeah, and that's exactly what the Lions needed at that moment. They had a couple of drives that had stalled inside the 40. You had a drive stall at midfield the last time. So you need to go ahead and get a big play. And to do it differently than you have been. It wasn't a big pass play. Now OPSU has to be aware. Oh, they have a running back. He may not do a whole lot, but he can still do that if he goes unaccounted.
TH with the wind. It's going to be fielded in the end zone. And they do a reverse. The Lions sniff it out, though. Beautiful tackle there on the outside by Cameron West. The number 39 stays home, stays in his lane, and sniffs out that reverse. And they're going to get the ball here on the 17-yard line.
These reverses are becoming more and more common, and the Aggies telegraphed that one a little too clearly. I remember when those used to be super rare, and you see more and more often trying to create a little bit of misdirection on a kick return. SAGU read it perfectly and did not allow it to go for any extra yardage, and so OPSU has set up inside their own 20.
Here is Martez Vrana. Takes a snap, hands it off up the middle, and he's met after a 3-yard gain. Maybe call it a 3-yard gain.
And it is Carlos Ransberg back in after he did leave with an injury after a huge run that led to them taking the lead, but he immediately trots off again. He was slow getting up.
That ankle looks like it's giving him problems. Back in is Danny Valverde. 2nd and 7 for Vrana in this offense. And Valverde lines up kind of in an H-back position, so you got to think they may be rolling that way. Nope, back to pass going out on the island, pushed out of bounds by Bryce Bailey. Quick pitch and catch there to Miguel Hudson.
And this is exactly what OPSU wants to do. Just pick up 4 or 5 yard chunks at a time, control the clock. Obviously, SAGU's defense was out on the field a lot on those 2 touchdown drives. SAGU's offense, they went and scored, but they didn't give them any time to rest after making a big 3rd down stand on the last drive.
But here is another crucial 3rd down, 3rd and 3. Vrana fakes the handoff, keeps it himself, and goes up the middle. That was a long read option. He held that thing forever.
Vrana is showing a lot of patience in at quarterback, holding it, almost waited for Derek Shelby to get a hold of the running back before he held on to the ball. Had an open lane to take and picks up the 1st down. So Vrana has definitely been showing what he can do with his legs when it comes to the option.
And here is Vrana, new set of downs, back to pass. Looked to his right but couldn't find a man. Now rolling out, finds a man down the middle. He's got enough for a 1st down, and a good job again of his receiver to kind of just stay put and haul in that pass. Number 8, Jalen Fair.
More patience, too. He's rolling out, looking. He had his running back underneath that he could have tossed it. He got Valverde for just a few extra yards, but he waits for the Lions linebacker to come off. Wide open man at the 40-yard line. So just excellent patience by Vrana here.
Vrana hands it off to Valverde. He cuts back and is met by a host of Lions. I'd say about every member of the Lions defensive line was in on that tackle. And a good job there to drop him for a loss. Gonna bring up 2nd and 11.
Anything you can do to keep the Aggies behind the chains. You don't want, when you're setting up a 3rd and 3, there's just too many ways for them to pick up those 3 yards on the ground. You want to try to keep them back in that 3rd and 8, 3rd and 12 situation.
Vrana, 2nd and 11. He's got 4 wide. Valverde in the backfield. Fakes the handoff, rolls out, and then dumps it off, finds his man wide open, and he's got some room to run, and he's going to get brought down past the 40-yard line for a 1st down. He finds the man number 4, Nick West, for the 1st down.
And we've seen a little, just kind of a steady 1-2 punch here. They've been running the ball so effectively the last few drives, and now a little bit of play action, rolling out, finding those men underneath in the soft spots of the defense, making it work through the air a little bit here.
Vrana hands it off to Valverde. Valverde gets brought down by Landon Jones. That's a good tackle by Landon in the open field, brings him down by the legs.
Yeah, there's 5 extra yards there if Jones isn't able to make this tackle. Valverde cuts in and just tries to get out free of Landon Jones, unable to. Landon Jones has just been a monster. Keandre Belcher is going to check out here.
Marcus Rodriguez steps into the game for the D-line. Keandre Belcher, let's see if he is okay. That would be a big loss. It looks like he's fine, just coming out of the game for a 2nd and 9.
Yeah, possibly just a situational sub for what they want to do.
And then a whistle. Looks like we're going to have a timeout.
Timeout. Panhandle State, their 1st of the half.
Timeout OPSU. He pointed the wrong way, but if it is true, it's going to be an OPSU timeout, their 1st of the game. 1st of the half, rather.
3:13 remaining here in the half of what's kind of been a very back-and-forth football game. Score update, start of the 2nd half. The Evangel Crusaders are leading the Missouri Valley Vikings 30-0. So Evangel will be safely safely staying within that top 10 zone. They are one of those teams that handed SAGU one of their losses this season. Another score update. Kansas Wesleyan leading Bethel 21-13. Kansas Wesleyan is number 7 in the nation, so a team like Evangel is going to be watching that game pretty closely too, hoping for a little bit of an upset.
That's a close one, yeah. 8-point game.
There's always a lot of interest because of the interesting way that the playoffs set up in the NAIA. It's a 16-team playoff. If you are a top 20 conference champ, you make it automatically. If you're a couple of years ago, actually, Langston won the what was the old CSFL, ranked number 22, I believe, and missed out on making the playoffs because of that. So there's a lot of wild cards, a lot of moving pieces to the NAIA playoffs to play out over the next few weeks.
Vrana back to pass, finds his man down the middle. He's going to get in the end zone for a touchdown. He was under pressure by the SAGU defensive lineman, Cameron Keith, and he delivered an absolute dime to the receiver down the middle.
And just running to nowhere. There's no one in the vicinity. Completely blown coverage by the Lions. Christian Cross was well off position. Bryce Bailey was nowhere near him. Nobody picked him up. And it's an easy pitch and catch touchdown for the Aggies to go back ahead. So Vrana, he's run for a touchdown and thrown for one now. Big play from the Aggies.
Javier Medina on for the extra point. It's up, and it is good, and making it 21-14 in favor of the Aggies.
So, as I was about to say, big play from the Aggies, considering all they had done so far was run. And that drive, they established a little pass. So we see both teams now. SAGU breaking off a big rushing touchdown. The Aggies throwing a deep touchdown pass. It wasn't even a perfectly thrown ball. The receiver, anytime the receiver has to turn his back to the end zone, kind of slow down and backpedal to catch it, typically it's not what you were looking for, but SAGU's coverage was so poor, they still were able to run in for a touchdown there. And so for the third time, the Lions offense will hit the field down a score.
You think the kind of hybrid 4-4 defense that the Lions are running right now, Kobe Roach has come up in the box almost every play at this point, either at maybe a fourth linebacker, kind of that nickel roll. You think that maybe be confusing the secondary coverage a little bit, because they've had a couple of plays where the guys have been wide open.
Yeah, and they found 2 or 3 soft spots there. So it's almost like they're not identifying what they need to be doing in those specific situations. Sooner Athletic Conference score update. Texas Wesleyan leading Wayland Baptist 16-10. The Rams, of course, nearly put a scare in the Lions last week.
And here, returnable kick here for Dakota Gilly. Gilly's going to make a man miss, get it up past the 25, where the Lions will take over at the 27-yard line, 1st and 10, as Collins steps out under 3 minutes to play here in the first half. And remember, the Lions did get the ball first, so plenty of time here to put a drive together. They do have 3 timeouts. Put a drive together here, try to go into halftime up 21, or they're tied at 21 apiece, ideally, here if you're the Lions.
Yeah, this is a big drive. You have plenty of time, 3 timeouts. You don't want to be down a score at half with OPSU getting the ball first.
Collins hands it off. Stephon Free, why not after Michael Bledsoe. Stephon Free might still be catching his breath after the 86-yard touchdown. Michael Bledsoe, the second leg of that 2-headed running back attack that the Lions like to play with. 2nd and 3 now for the Lions.
Definitely in no hurry.
Collins fakes the handoff. He's back to pass, has plenty of time. Looking down the middle, looked for Brian Dotson, was fighting for position and got behind the defensive back, but just could not haul it in. It was over his head.
Yeah, it looks like Dotson takes too close of a route here, unable to get that step back. It almost felt like he was trying to lure the defender underneath a little bit and break off. We've seen Dotson do that a couple of times this year, where it almost feels like he comes up a little bit short to freeze a defenseman and then makes the last few steps he needs to catch the pass. That time, though, he was not near enough and brings up a huge 3rd down. 3rd and a very long 3.
Collins. Oh, a flag comes in, and that was a beautifully written or drawn play. It looked like they had OPSU leaning to one side.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 61, 5-yard penalty, Third down.
Dane Macklin gets called for the false start, and that's going to put the Lions back at 3rd and 8.
Lions have struggled with penalties all year long. There haven't been a lot in this game, but that is a big one, as they did seem to have OPSU completely off their heels, probably thanks in part to the offsides. OPSU scrambling, trying to get an extra man off the field.
Collins going to roll out to his right, looking for Bryant Dotson down the sidelines, and he cannot find him, and that is not what you want if you're the Lions. A 3-and-out is going to give the ball back to the Aggies with, after the punt, maybe about 2 minutes left, depending on what happens if we get a long roll.
Yeah, and the defense hasn't had a whole lot of breathing time after a long slogging drive. This is a big gut check moment coming up here. We're saying you don't want to be down a score with OPSU getting the ball first start second half. You definitely cannot afford to be down 2 scores. The defense is about to have to make a huge stand here in the last 2 minutes.
The punt by Wright, it's a high one. Fielded, we'll call it at the 29, fair catch. So that is where OPSU will take over at about the 30-yard line.
It's going to be just a notch over 2 minutes remaining. And like you said, this is a crucial drive. If they were to go down 2 scores with OPSU a chance to make it 3 to start the second half, you'd find yourself in a world of trouble. You need to make this stand here.
Martez Vrana
had a great
out.
first half.
Yeah, absolutely, running and passing the ball. No turnovers for either side of the field. Hands it off to Valverde. Valverde takes it to the outside for a gain of, let's call it 7. Brings up 2nd and 3 rather. Under 2 minutes left to play. OPSU does have 2 timeouts. But you got to think this is plenty of time to do something here for the Aggies.
Plenty of time, and honestly, this is kind of the test the waters part of the drive. You don't hurry up too much, so you don't give the Lions a chance to get the ball back. If you pick up a first down, that's when you'll probably see them go into more of a hurry-up mode. Looking at a 2nd and 4 with 90 seconds to play.
Vrana, he's going to keep it himself, and he's done this well all game long. Breaking a big run here, gets the first down and gets the ball past the 40 at the 39. With 1:22 left to play here in the half, and the clock will start when the chains are set.
That read option has been killing the SAGU defense. They are frozen in place. It feels like everybody in the secondary is just struggling, not just to pick up receivers, but to identify that read option. Vrana's able to pick up a huge gain of over 20 yards.
Vrana out to pass, misses his man, and that's going to stop the clock now for the Aggies. Brings up 2nd and 10.
2nd and 10, minute left. Just kind of spread the defense out, trying to hope to complete that and shoot up the middle, or shoot around the edge and really kind of get a series of blockers. And again, they're going to line up in the shotgun or in the pistol here with 4 men wide.
3 out to his right for Vrana. Moves his back up with him in the backfield. He's going to hand it off around the side, and there we see Dylan Cullum back in the game, so that's a good sign.
Good to see him back in the game. Honestly, the way he left the field, the time it took him off the field, I did not think he'd be back in. So good to see that he is all right and picks up a first down immediately, or nearly picks up a first down. 3rd and 1.
Vrana rolling out to his left. Finds his man across the middle, but he drops it. That's going to bring up 4th down here for the Aggies. An interesting situation they find themselves in.
Almost certainly go for it.
I would say so,
the
too.
way you've been running the ball, is just 40 seconds left in the half. The way you've been running it, I think this is an easy decision to go for it at the 30-yard line. Just inside the 30, they really need to pick up about a full yard. It seems the line where they need to pick up is in between the 28 and 29.
Watch the hard count here. They decide to run the ball. Cullum gets stopped, and the Lions will take over on downs with 36 seconds and 3 timeouts. With a senior at quarterback here, down 7, you got to take a shot here. You got to try to get down the field and at least get a field goal.
Feel like you got to, and because you do have the time. What a stop by the defense there, though. That's the second time that they have broken up a 4th and short. This one is huge. Like I said, at the very least now, you're almost certainly going to go into the half just down a single score, where for a moment on that drive, it looked certain that you might be going down at least 2. So now CJ will have a chance to get down the field quickly, and the wind will be at TH's back.
Collins fakes a handoff. He's back to pass. Looking down the sideline for Blaine Rowe, and it's almost intercepted. The ball shot up in the air and was hanging forever, and then just off the hands of the Aggies defender.
I had already called it. I have no idea. This is how you know you're just blessed and how you've gone 4.5 games without an interception.
Should have been picked twice.
When this gets dropped right here, when this pass gets dropped, that was a free, just a fair catch kind of pass. So I said they're going to be almost certainly down 1 score. They almost got burned there.
Collins gets it out to Northey. Northey trying to get out of bounds. The clock is going to run under 20 seconds, just about 20 seconds, and the timeout is called by Coach Smith. The first charged out to the Lions.
Timeout, SAGU.
So bring up a 3rd and 7. And all credit to what this OPSU defense has been able to do there. Again, the near interception was created by just the blanketing coverage. And, maybe the Lions get thrown a little bit off guard there because they were getting such open looks last week against Texas Wesleyan, who's currently trails Wayland Baptist 17-16, that it almost can throw you for a loop when you get back into a game where all of a sudden you're getting blanketed on every single front. That ball got batted up there, nearly intercepted, and even trying to find Northey there. No room to work. Typically, Northey's strength is catching a pass in stride, finding a hole, and going for yards. Brings up a big 3rd down here if you want any shot of trying to put on some last-second points.
Here is Collins, 3rd and 7, 20 seconds left. Fakes the handoff. He's back to pass. Clean pocket. Looking for the out route to Carr. Carr brings it in, and that's going to be a 1st down. What a catch by Jeremy Carr. That ball, that's a long out route.
That's a long out route. CJ having to throw it the full length of the football field there to get to the corner. It looked like he might have even been hit as he threw. It wasn't a great pass. Carr do a lot to get back to it.
12 seconds.
Yeah, Ford need to get at least probably the 15 yards to make this even an attempt.
And then a flag comes out before the snap.
You're trying to count the Aggies
Prior
here.
to the snap, false start, offense number 66. Timer, please put 12 seconds on the clock.
Evan Greathouse, the center, gets called for the false start.
So that'll make it a little bit tougher. You're needing to pick up 20 yards now to even have a chance at a field goal attempt. Otherwise, you need probably at least another 10 to have a conceivable Hail Mary attempt.
Collins back to pass now. Clean pocket. Going deep down the middle of the field has Sam Northey. It's picked off. Northey can't get his hands on it. And now you got to make the tackle if you're the Lions. And they do make the tackle around midfield. Collins looking for Northey down the middle of the field. And just not enough length on Northey to bring that ball in. And the first interception for Collins in close to 255 attempts.
It might be 260. I was keeping track throughout the half, and I think he was just at about 260 before that interception. Luckily, not a devastating one. Just trying to go deep, trying to make something happen in the waning moment. So it's not one that, if it had been the interception on the other end of the field like it nearly was, that could have really hurt the Lions. But OPSU is able to make the stop in the closing seconds, and the Lions will trail by 7 at the half.
21-14 is your score as we head into halftime. OPSU will get the ball to start the second half. So SAGU not in a position they really want to be in, down 7 and having to play defense.
Having to play defense straight out of the break, especially with OPSU, certainly going to bring some adjustments. We saw them make some adjustments after their 2 touchdown drives where they went to the air, were able to excel to get a big touchdown pass. And especially if you're SAGU, you have to be a little bit worried with how your passing game is being shut down.
Don't go anywhere. Second half coming your way. 21-14, OPSU leads. Second half coming right here on the SAGU Sports Network.